fuel.
Fuel, man. We don't expect to hear that from Red Bull. Chatuna mafuta. Come on, man.
The guys were like, you know, the rumors about the Coast Cup. They have existed the Coast Cup. The guys were like, say, exit Coast Cup, pesa iko hadi pe mafuta.
But I didn't to afford mafuta. And Russel as well. As soon as he switched onto the slicks.
Let's talk about Russel.
He almost lost the car, I think.
That was, you see, everybody was just waiting for the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Who will get into the pits since we started this show?
Red Bull have just been winning.
But
we don't want Red Bull to be winning, man. We are Scuderia.
Yeah. I think the Red Bull admin, when they say this, they should invite us and say, due to these guys, we are not champions.
Man, you should invite us to the paddock.
Yeah, man. Hello people, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Singapore GP recap. My name is Paul and this is a Pit Window Open podcast. I'm joined by Chris.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back from my long hiatus.
You need to explain where your disappearance.
Life, innit? Been having to deal with a lot of personal affairs.
Yeah. You good though?
So yeah, I'm good now.
Glad you're
back. I'm back, ready to kick on.
Yeah. And since you left, still the Red Bull are winning.
Yeah, Red Bull are still showing Ferrari who's boss.
Yeah.
This weekend, Max Verstappen had a good run, or should have had a good run, apart from a few errors that the team made. Yeah, but I feel like they still made the most of the weekend with Checo getting on the top spot of the podium. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not Max Verstappen, it's the Red.
It has to be Checo. He has to be there. In fact, that's what Christian always says.
I have a theory. Mm-hmm. I feel like we are the we are the good luck charm. This show. Since we started this show,
Red Bull have just been winning. But we don't want Red Bull to be winning, man. We are Scuderia.
Yeah. I think the Red Bull admin, when they say this, they should invite us and say, due to these guys, we are not champions.
Man, you should invite us to the paddock.
Yeah, man.
When you guys celebrate your world championship.
Yeah, ever since we started this, have you looked at our race win session, like the story?
The race recaps.
Yeah, the race is only Verstappen.
It's always Verstappen.
And I'm like, did we begin this show
so that
Verstappen can win this thing?
We got it for Leclerc.
Yeah, we've been a good luck charm to the Red Bull.
Yeah.
In the US one. But anyway, good weekend. Checo, I felt like he drove superbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every driver was having mistakes.
Tricky race.
It's a very tricky night race.
Yeah.
The walls are so close to you. It was all wet as well.
Yeah. That's added a huge factor.
Yeah.
We saw it in qualifying, it was a bit wet. Although I didn't watch qualifying.
I watched all the way from practice 1 all the way to the race, and I'd say Ferrari really did a good job.
Yeah,
considering how they started. I feel like they made the most of the weekend. So it's at least one of those weekends where Ferrari didn't make really huge mistakes.
For real. And it was a clean weekend for Ferrari from team strategy perspective.
They need to be able to execute that much better in the future races.
So qualifying, Charles Leclerc takes pole position. Verstappen was on a good lap, had the purple sector in sector 1, but fuel.
We don't expect to hear that from Red Bull. Chatuna mafuta. Come on, man.
The guys were like, you know, the rumors about the Coast Cup. They have existed the Coast Cup. The guys were like, say, exit Coast Cup, pesa iko hadi pe mafuta.
But I didn't to afford mafuta. Maybe it's their way of showing that they are not reaching the Coast Cup. Yeah, but Charles Leclerc,
brilliant pole position streak continues. 9th this season.
9 pole positions?
Yeah, imagine.
And only 3 wins. I mean, we need to turn those pole positions into wins.
So yeah, his 9th pole position, again beating Checo, was in a very good Red Bull for the weekend. And also the Mercedes of Hamilton was, they had the pace to start at least on the front row.
Yeah.
And again, putting his teammate Carlos Sainz way back in qualifying.
But Sainz had a really good start.
You mean the race start?
Yeah.
Yeah. A few people had a good race start. Even Checo, that's when Checo took the lead.
I saw. I think Nani had a bit of wheel spin as he was starting the race.
Yeah, apparently his side of the track was the damper one.
Yeah.
Killed most of the water.
Yeah.
Checo was on a bit of a dry.
Yeah.
So Leclerc spins, Checo goes ahead, takes the lead, and it was the same.
Pretty much straightforward from there.
Yeah. And again, this season we are seeing it's the Red Bull and Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Because if it's Verstappen, it's always Verstappen and Charles Leclerc who are just. Because for the first few laps it was Sergio Perez fastest lap, Charles Leclerc responds.
Yeah.
And the two are just pulling away from the rest of the field.
I think that built up about a 20-second gap
before the safety car.
Yeah. Even after the safety car, they really pulled a big gap.
Yeah, it's always a Red Bull with Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Charles Leclerc is the only one who can keep up with the Red Bulls.
Yeah.
He should decide to switch over now.
Yeah. So an interesting race. The conditions were not very helpful. We saw was it 6 DNFs?
Yeah, 6 DNFs.
Although 2 were as a result of engine failure. That is for
the Alpine.
The Renault engine just capitulated.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming, but I think Max was really, for Alonso's part, I think Max was really pushing Alonso, and probably the car just couldn't keep up with whatever the Red Bull was bringing to Alonso.
So a bad day for the Alpines?
A terrible day for the Alpines.
Terrible day. Both cars
especially McLaren now they were 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, no one expected that. And it took them, I think, now above Alpine in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, there are 2 teams who really had a good weekend. That's as you say, the McLarens.
And the Aston Martin.
And the Aston Martins. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we always see these races when the track is, the conditions are wet, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And
the most exciting races because of the unpredictability.
Yeah, and 1 or 2 teams really pulled a surprise. I was very surprised by the pace of the Aston Martin.
Yeah, but it was like that throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah.
We've seen on occasions they were not able to keep up with the pace that they had started with.
Yeah.
When the weekend started during the race. The race pace hasn't been that good, but they were able to keep up this whole weekend, which was really impressive.
Yeah. So no points for the Alpine. They'll be left wondering what went on on a weekend where they seemed that they could be again. They had the pace clearly. Alonso was keeping Verstappen behind.
Yeah.
They were good in qualifying. So it looked like they're gonna get double points from both cars.
Even though Ocon started, I think, 18th.
For real?
Pretty sure he started at the back.
Yeah.
But he was making his way through the field pretty fast.
Yeah. And speaking of making your way through the field, we need to have a discussion on street circuits. It's difficult to overtake, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially Monaco and Singapore, I feel that. And Jeddah. Jeddah as well.
Singapore has a bit of a chance as compared to Monaco, but still it's so hard. You have to be within half a second, like 0.5 to the guy in front.
Yeah.
So that during the DRS you can make, and even if the guy goes defensive, you still have a minimal window to make the move. Yeah. The only difference that this weekend we saw the spins and
there were a lot of spins.
Yeah. And let's get to the mistakes. We saw Hamilton.
We saw Verstappen.
Yeah.
We saw
Hamilton had 2. In fact, he was lucky he finished that race. I thought he was gonna retire when he went to the barrier, just like kissed the barrier.
He actually got it pretty good.
Yeah.
The left side of his wing was falling off.
Yeah.
It could have easily fallen off completely and cut through his tires.
I think he was lucky to finish the race.
I think so too.
On another day, that's a DNF. Yeah.
And Russell as well. As soon as he switched onto the slicks.
Let's talk about Russell.
He almost lost the car, I think.
That was, you see, everybody was just waiting for the sacrificial lamb. Who will get into the pits and put on the slicks.
Yeah, and it took him a while to get to grips with it.
Everybody was just like, come on, please, somebody, who will take the risk.
Yeah.
And we were getting a lot of feedback from the drivers. Some were saying it's too early for the slicks.
Yeah.
Others were saying
It took a lot of courage to do what he did.
Yeah, but I think the Mercedes just thought, we have Hamilton moving the field, we want him to get in the podium, and we have Russell who is struggling in P13.
Yeah.
So let's use Russell, see if it's the right time to get onto the slicks.
Yeah.
And
it was quite a while before everyone
when that safety car happened, they called him in, and everybody was just waiting to see,
how that's gonna go for him.
Yeah.
But the track was still pretty wet.
It took a bit of it took almost 7 laps to get going.
7 laps?
6.
I think maybe slightly about
more.
10.
Yeah, it took like
10.
10 laps for Russell to go. Because everybody was just waiting to see, like all those engineers are just watching, Russell's data.
Yeah.
And I think the crossover
it got to a point he was sitting fastest lap after fastest lap.
You know what happened?
So it was a good idea, but he called it too early.
What happened is, I think the time which was being set by the drivers was like a 1:59, almost 2 minutes kind of race pace. Yeah. And the crossover was predicted to be like around the 1:57, 1:56.
1:56, yeah.
So it got to a point, everybody saw Russell has set the first sector. And
everybody wanted to get on the slicks.
Everybody was like, oh, it's time to do the crossover now.
After about an hour into the race, yeah?
Oh, man.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
Immediately, Russell did the first sector. Hey,
let's
I just saw Pierre Gasly into the pits.
Which, this guy has really had a poor weekend in my opinion, AlphaTauri.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I feel like they could have made more of this weekend.
I feel like they haven't really made a step forward like other teams.
Yeah. They've been stagnating.
They've been stagnating.
But like we've seen with Checo, you can in one race turn a lot.
I have 2 teams which I really don't know, which for me have really stagnated. That's the AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo haven't scored a point, I don't know, since
in
when.
a long while.
Yeah, they have stagnated.
Job knew the rest where he was in top 10.
Yeah, that's the last time.
That's the last time. Yeah.
That was like months ago.
For Bottas, it was I think the first 6 races.
Yeah.
After that, we have not heard from Bottas.
Yeah, those 2 teams.
Let's hope he has a good end to the season.
Yeah. So Russell pits, switches to the mediums, and everybody is like. I mean, when the time started coming down, everybody comes into the pits. Now I feel like because Ferrari were the first to box with Charles. Man, the pit stop was like 5.7 seconds.
5.3.
5.3.
A bit too long, considering you already had the gap to build up to Checo.
And the fact that you see for the Marina Bay circuit, it's a very strong. You can undercut your opponent by pitting. Yeah. So
but you really need your pit stop guys to be on toes.
Yeah.
2.3, 2.4 seconds, we're out.
And then Perez came in and done a 2.5.
Yeah, pretty quick, and he's gone.
And within 1 or 2 laps, Leclerc was behind Perez and he couldn't overtake. Yeah. I feel like if Ferrari had just done a 2.5 or a 3,
it would have made a big difference.
Made a big difference. I think Leclerc would have overtaken Perez earlier, like 2 laps earlier. Because by the time Perez was coming out, I feel like Leclerc would have caught up with him pretty quickly and not even need 2 laps to catch up with him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so the small things again.
And his tires would have needed to warm up, whereas Leclerc's tires were already warm.
Yeah, they're already warm. So you'd have passed him, within 2 or 3 laps or so. Yeah, but good composure from Perez, withstood all the pressure from Charles. The point where Charles just understeered, he almost went to the barrier as well.
He actually was doing a lot of that towards the end.
His tires were
lost
gone.
All grip on
the front tires. You could tell that chasing of
Perez had eaten up his tires. Of which I've noticed this season, Ferrari tires really, especially the front tires, really wear out pretty quickly.
Yeah, for real.
Whereas Red Bull are able to keep it up for at least 5 more laps. 5 more than the Ferrari.
I understand that's a development path Red Bull took. To reduce tire degradation.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that.
It's pretty genius. They have pretty much everything. Apart from not being as fast on slow speed corners, everything else is just top.
And this tire degradation issue is it's something we've seen with the Ferrari for a long time. Last season, they really do not
for so long actually.
That car chews up its tires. They can be so quick, but not so sustainable.
Yeah. And you need to be reliable at the end of the day if you have to compete for a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking on the mistakes. Also, Verstappen had a big one, locking up his tires yet to go wide, off track,
which left him with a flat spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
He also had a near miss actually.
The restart.
With Norris.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
The safety car.
After the safety car.
Yeah.
Man, that would have been a disaster because
sure.
I feel like that's the type of situation where you see a car flying.
For real.
He was too close to Norris, and yet Norris decided to brake at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dangerous driving.
I think he thought Norris was already gone. So, but Norris just stepped on the brakes again. And
so suddenly
it caught Verstappen out of guard.
But it goes to show how good a driver he is.
That was a nice race
with that.
Yeah. So let's give it a mention to the
McLaren, especially Danny Ricks.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Good boy.
I've really been waiting for Danny Ricks to show what he's made of.
Yeah.
It seems Singapore was the circuit that was most suited for him.
Yeah. For me, I think they played the waiting game. They were not panicky in their decisions, even after, because they went for track position on the second safety car. They didn't pit Lando. So when everybody was coming for the softs or for the inters, for the slicks, Lando stayed out with the inters. And a few minutes later, this guy goes into the wall. What was his name? Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki went into the wall?
Yeah! Yuki retired.
I thought he had a mechanical issue.
Nah, he went into the wall.
I don't remember that.
And then they used that chance to pit
Lando Norris.
Yeah. So I think they knew in these kind of conditions there's someone else who's going to crash.
Yeah. I mean, that was predictable. All the way from Friday, we saw so many people tapping the wall.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll, I think, was the first one to hit the wall on Friday. So
of all the drivers, I think Perez is the only one who had a win.
I mean, but from his point of view, he made a couple of mistakes. It's just that he was able to catch the car before he lost it.
Yeah, everybody was struggling understeer, especially going into the corners, because you see that part of the track usually wet. So when your car, and you see the challenging being of such a race is with such conditions is when it's raining. When you're on the inters, and then they start overheating, you have to try and start cooling them down. So you'll see drivers go off the dry line into the wetter part of the line, and then come back. But now you put on the slicks, the moment you go off that dry line, you're done.
You're done. You've lost all grip.
You've lost all grip into the walls.
Yeah.
So P1, Checo, P2, Leclerc.
Speaking of which, they wanted to deduct Checo's points because of the two safety car restart. I feel like if such a thing is to happen, it should happen during the race, not after the race. Considering Checo was top spot, you wouldn't want to win a race and then be told later, you made 2 or 1 mistakes here and there, and you need to be deducted points. That's not fair.
I think it's a pretty standard rule. It once happened to Vettel, I remember. And it got deducted a few years ago, I think in Canada.
I don't remember.
I remember. And then he received like a 5-second penalty.
After the race had ended?
No, during the race.
During the
so
race.
That was the confusion, do these things openly, let us see, instead of going into a room somewhere we don't know what the discussions were on about.
Especially when you have so much time before the race ends.
So did they give him the 5-second penalty?
No. In fact, they were saying it's 2 infringements, so a potential 10-point deduction.
So he never received any?
He didn't receive.
Oh, that's interesting. Although, even if you would have received it like the 5-1, it was already like, by the time the race was ending, it was 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
And I think Red Bull suspected the 5 seconds was coming. So I remember when they came into the radio and they told Checo, just go for it.
In fact, right after I think Ferrari strategists had told
Yeah.
Leclerc to maintain that 5-second gap.
Yeah.
They called radio Checo's radio
Yeah.
and told him, ensure you build up the gap.
Yeah.
Because you might
Just
have a
fly out
penalty.
there, yeah.
Yeah, and they had the pace.
Yeah, the pace.
It was about 2 seconds. All of a sudden, this guy is pulling away, pulling away.
Wow. There's a point
The
where
Ferrari is just
he was
slipping all over the place.
He was dropping Leclerc with almost like
a second a
a
lap.
second a lap.
Yeah.
Especially towards the last 3 laps.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty damn fast.
Yeah. I just feel like the biggest strength of the Red Bull is its grip.
Yeah,
Its tires are just.
they have a lot of strengths, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the grip plays a
grip.
big
Yeah.
part.
So I think any honorable mention? I think the Aston Martins.
Yeah, and the McLarens
And the
for sure.
McLarens for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been all over the place, but they really showed what they're made of this weekend.
Terrible weekend again, Alfa Romeo. Terrible weekend, unforeseen, Alpine.
Yeah,
They,
terrible. They've had so many DNFs this season.
yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why Fernando Alonso decided to make the move to Aston Martin. And this weekend we saw what they're capable of.
Yeah.
If they're able to just get better, slightly better on race pace for the next season, I feel like they'll be challenging for 4th, 5th spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This season has been all about, because with the new regulations, it's been learning about the car. So going into next season, all these teams will have a clear understanding
Yeah.
of what needs to be done.
Yeah. But it's a process at the same time.
Yeah.
You never know what to expect, especially considering what happened to Mercedes this season. I'm really anxious to see what they'll be able to pull off next season.
That was their chance of winning a race. I don't see any other circuit.
Yeah.
Unless
Me
Mexico.
neither.
Mexico.
But you never know what might happen. I mean,
Yeah.
the first 4 might DNF. And we have a double Mercedes podium, number 1 and 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate. Imagine.
Stuff of dreams.
Yeah. Do you think they'll win this season? A race?
I'd like to think so.
If you have to put your money on it right now.
If I was to put my money on it,
Yeah.
I would have put my money on this particular race,
Oh,
a Singapore Grand Prix. But
I personally.
the last 5 races, I don't see.
I don't think.
Mercedes.
Personally, I don't think they will be in contention to win a race.
Yeah.
Maybe P2.
P2 at best.
P2 at best at this point, unless both Red Bulls are out.
Yeah.
And both Ferraris just do Ferrari thing.
And actually, P2 is
P2 is good.
in the case of
In the context
a
of where
DNF
they've
or a
come
mistake from
Yeah.
one of the drivers in the top teams.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Otherwise,
take
I don't
P2
see
with
that.
a Mercedes.
P2 Mercedes.
I'll take P2. Both. I'll take P2 right now. Either Hamilton or George Russell.
Same.
Yeah.
They know how their car has been, especially this weekend. It's been all over the place. It was really bad on Friday, really good on Saturday. Sunday, I don't think they could keep up with the car.
Yeah. So yeah. So next we go to Suzuka.
Suzuka, Japan,
Oh man, it's been
home
a
of
minute.
Honda.
It's been a minute since.
What's a wait? I mean, if Verstappen was to
Oh.
take it in Japan,
He will.
the home of Honda, which is most definitely will. I mean,
That guy has.
there's no better way to
Yeah.
cap the season, to be honest.
Man, it's just coming, and he only needs to win the race and the fastest lap.
By the way, it's not as complicated as it would have been in Singapore. Oh man.
Yeah, he only needs to win that race with the fastest lap, and
Yeah.
trust me,
He
he'll
will.
build a gap.
Yeah.
Then towards the end of the race,
Yeah.
he'll be
Safety.
given like full power, bro. That guy will go for the
Flat
fastest
out.
lap. Flat
Let's
out.
go.
I think he'll take it in Japan. Honda's home for real.
Yeah.
Imagine the story.
Yeah, he's going to. I
Yeah.
mean, the whole team is so psyched up for it. I think they'll ensure everything
Yeah.
is in tip-top shape to ensure that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's exhaustive.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything to add to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a lot. That was a recap for the Singapore GP. A race which was a bit tactical, a bit patient. Wait, see how things
A
will
lot
pan out.
tactical.
Yeah, just waiting for others.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Especially to
yeah.
change to the slicks. I mean, I've never seen anything so entertaining.
But George Russell is I think George Russell is a brave guy. Even we saw in Montreal, he's the one who he risked going for the softs.
Montreal is Canada.
Yeah, I think it was qualifying. Yeah, I think it was qualifying,
I don't think I watched Canada qualifying.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But then again, as soon as he got into the track, he was like, "Oh, we've made the wrong decision."
No grip.
No grip.
No grip.
I think he likes the soft tire.
Yeah.
Russel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he made the race more interesting for us.
Definitely.
So that's been a lot. It's been your boy Paul.
Chris,
Yeah. Peace.
see you guys.
See ya.